as I was saying, ego wants status more than anything. So when you're marketing to the ego, you want to show the ego that by buying the product, its status can increase. Whereas if you're marketing to the soul doesn't desire status, it desires love more than anything. Also, we said the ego desires power and status, but the soul desires love. So if you market in such a way where you put out things that can increase status, then you'll attract your ego tribe. But if you put out things that can actually increase a person's love, then you can attract your soul tribe. How do you feel from the call we had yesterday? How's things been since then?
I've been more awake. You feel that? I'm more awake now. I'm more aware why things are happening to me. So I'll be more aware now than I was before.
And I mean, what's the significance of that for you? Oh, like the glasses.
And significant is, well, I feel more awake in this sense of I have more knowledge than I had before. Before I didn't have knowledge. Now I do have knowledge. Now it's my turn to act upon it and take action. It is.
Yeah. So you feel like you're now able to take action upon more of a grounded foundation of knowledge as that being the base, as opposed to kind of just running, but not doing so with certainty, running, and it's more aimless.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's good, because at the end of the day, that certainty, this is again something which is now tapping into not necessarily like that physical leverage that we're talking about. If you remember what those were, the content, collaborations, code, but now when you're looking at the other form of leverage, which was a spiritual leverage, the 95%, being able to leverage certainty is one of the best forms of leverage that you possibly can have. And that's not something that you can hold. That's something that exists within. So the more that you gain that certainty, the more that you'll go away from being frozen to now actually, boom, getting in the middle, taking action because you must. But when you have uncertainty, this is what is the biggest cause of that procrastination. That's the thing that makes you stay stuck and not necessarily moving at all. Because the thing about like taking action as well, like, you know, at the end of the day, there's only so many action steps that are required in order for you to go in that shortest timeline that we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah.
When you move into the 5D, the fifth dimension, then it doesn't necessarily have to be that everything is super hard work and tons of effort, uphill grind. But it can actually be that things start to go downstream and you're moving more so in a way which is with flow rather than with resistance.
Yeah, makes sense. I think we're sitting a lot of the experiencing a lot of the years.
Say that again?
The experiencing resistance for a lot of years. So that's why I'm stuck. But I'm aware now, so I need to take action. What's ahead?
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like you're aware that it is resistance and that you have been experiencing resistance for many years, the question for yourself now is like, what do you believe is the major cause of that resistance?
Things that happen in the past. I
Yeah.
think that the system, the way it's designed, and the way it works, it keeps you in a place that you don't become abundant. You become a slave to them.
Hmm.
So that's why that's the
Yeah.
reason why I believe
So let me ask you a different question as well. Like when I use the word resistance, what does that word mean to you?
means not doing. It means you are going against what you may be supposed to do, like you're stopping something.
Like you're going against where you're supposed to be going.
Yeah,
So, if you think about the current in a river, you've got the current that goes towards the sea and it's going in a particular direction. And if you are operating in a way where it's not flowy and you actually have more resistance, then you're going against that current. It's kind of like you're fighting against the wave. Um, so that's kind of what you're describing there
yes,
is the direction and that resistance. So from that perspective, when you're looking at um, the thing that can cause resistance, generally speaking, there's usually three major things that causes your resistance. Number one, it's fear. Number two, it's doubt. And number three, it's friction. These are usually like the main three things that will cause you to have that resistance. Um, so for yourself, like out of the three, which one do you feel like or has been contributing towards the resistance within you out of the three of those: fear, doubt, or friction?
uh, fear and doubt. Those two, for the most part, I've been experiencing fear and doubt.
Yeah. So if we first start with the fear, like, would you believe like some of the main fears have been within you that have actually been holding you back from being able to really flow and go downstream?
Can you explain again?
So if we start with, because you said it was fear and doubt, we start with
Mhm.
fear. And if you look at the resistance that has built up within you, like over the last however many years, what would you say is the major fears that have come up within you that have been the cause of the resistance that you experience?
Or fear of failure, fear of not achieving anything, fear of wasting your time on something you might not get anything from. Those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Doubt that I can't do. I'm doubting I can achieve anything. But I'm doubting that I might can't make any money for any means. That's my doubt. But I
Yeah,
don't believe in myself.
yeah. So before we move on to the doubt, we'll stay with the fear, right? So if we just look at the fear that you've described there, you've said that it was that fear of. We talked about this a little bit yesterday too. That
Mm.
that fear of futility, the fear that if you are going to go and give effort, that you're not going to get anything back, right? So let me ask you this: do you feel like that's a logical fear? Like it's rational to have that fear for yourself, or do you feel like it's more illogical and it's more emotional?
Yeah, I believe it's more emotional
Why did you say that? Like, what makes it illogical?
because it's something you feel. It's not something that will happen. Guarantee that you will lose. You might win, you might lose. It's not 100%. That's why I say it's emotion.
Hmm.
What happened?
But here's the thing: like for some people, it would be quite logical to have that
Mhm.
fear of futility in certain areas. For example, let's say that you're someone who is 2'3" and you've got a broken leg, you have no arms, you have no limbs, and you're trying to like get into the NBA. Like that just doesn't really make much sense. So there's probably logic in having fear of futility because you just don't possess what's required physically in order to get into the NBA like that. The closest thing you're gonna be able to do is probably have a kid and then somehow possess, like give them some robotic arms or whatever, and then you can maybe put them in the NBA. But having a fear of futility then makes a little bit more sense, right?
Mhm.
But for yourself, like, um, what do you think makes it illogical? What I guess the question here is when you're looking at that fear of futility, you're essentially assessing how likely it's going to be that your effort actually brings returns. So on both sides, like, what makes it likely, what makes it unlikely that your effort would bring significant returns for you?
What makes it likely and will bring returns to me?
Yeah, what makes it likely that you'll get returns from your effort, and what makes it unlikely?
What makes it likely is that I am consistent in what I'm doing and I don't give up and I don't quit so easily. What's unlikely is that if I quit and I don't do anything,
Mm-hmm.
then I won't do anything.
Right. So if we look at the one side, you're saying as long as you put in the effort, the
Mhm.
consistency, the discipline at some level, doesn't have to be perfect, but at some level, like, are you guaranteed a return by doing that?
Depends on what you do
Okay.
and what you work on.
So let's say, like, in the area where you feel like you've had the most fear, where would you say that is?
Well, that being being a making a business video call like this one, for example, that'll be my biggest fear back in the day. Not quite now, fading
So,
away.
so like business related stuff, that's like where the fears are
Yeah,
mostly. Okay.
yeah.
So like in the creation of a business, making a business work for you, um, when you look at putting in consistent effort, being
Mhm.
disciplined, how likely are you at that point to guarantee yourself a return?
If if I if I'm consistent and I have a network that can help me, I will become successful in some way.
Yeah. So I guess the better question is, um, like, if you put in, it doesn't have to be like a great amount of effort. Let's say like you just put in like 1 day's worth of effort, are you guaranteed a return by like doing 1 day's worth of effort?
That depends on what system you use.
Okay.
But it won't guarantee of 1 day's work. I get something.
Why not?
It depends on what you do. If you're selling a product, maybe you might get a sale after 1 day's work. You might not. It
Mm-hmm.
depends. It really depends on market.
Yeah.
Mm.
So let me reframe your thinking a little bit because what you've essentially said is it depends on the system, it depends on
Mm.
everything external,
Yeah.
right? What if it didn't? And what if it actually was more so within your control? You could, like we were saying yesterday, you can either give your power away by saying that it's somebody else's fault, or you can take your power back, reclaim that power, and have that power within. So, oh, Martha, welcome. How are we?
Hello.
Hello. How are we doing?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Very well. Good to have you on the call.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. The conversation that we were just having now with Ali is a little bit around resistance, fear, self-doubt, and he was expressing how like one of his bigger fears is that when he wants to put in work into a particular business opportunity, an idea, that he ends up self-sabotaging because he gets to a stage where he's like, well, I don't really believe that anything's going to come from this. So it's almost like this fear of futility, and that it's like there's no point putting anything in if I'm probably not going to get anything out. So yeah, that's what he was sharing just then. And the question that I was asking him, that I'll ask to you too, is if you was to put in like just even a day's worth of effort into your business opportunity, would you be guaranteed a return from that much effort?
I don't think so. I think it has to be a little day by day.
Why? Welcome, Yasmin. Good to have
Hi,
you on.
Yasmin.
Hey everyone.
Why? Because if you just do one day, it's not consistent. But if you have a couple of days that you work in your business, then that's consistent. And you can achieve something from that.
Okay. So that's a little bit as to what Ali was saying as well, is that without consistency, he doesn't feel like he's guaranteed a return, because it have to be a really good system in order for him to get sales, get returns from one day's worth of effort. How about yourself, Yasmin? Question for you is if somebody was to put in like one day's worth of effort into a business, and that was it, like would they be guaranteed a return?
Probably learn a lot, but they won't get much results if it's just a day.
Okay. So what's your, this is like a political answer. What's your answer?
Yeah, they wouldn't get any results. That's my answer.
They wouldn't get any results. Okay.
No.
So I feel like all three of you are going to really benefit from hearing this perspective that changed the game for me. And a big reason why is because if you take the approach that all of you currently have right now, which is by putting in that effort, like just in one day, you're not guaranteed a return until you start getting the sales returns that come from consistent work. What ends up happening is that you develop this identity of feeling inadequate and as if I don't have enough results in order to step into my authority and lead a person from the problem that they're in to the solution that you want to promise them. And you can see as to why that might happen, because if, let's say, for example, in my mind, I'm like, well, I've got to get my first sale to feel like I'm successful before I can lead somebody else, then you are going to wait for that first sale before you can actually lead the person. But the truth is that you've got to lead the person in order to get the first sale. So it puts you into this catch-22 situation, a bit like what we were talking about yesterday, when, Ali, we were saying for yourself, you were using the excuse of, I don't have enough money right now. which is why I can't. And I said that, well, that same excuse as to why you can't has to be the reason for why you must. Right? And then when you take it to being the reason for why you must, now you actually start taking action, and then that gives you the money. So you no longer have the excuse. And it's the same thing with this, where if you're basically saying, like, I don't have the returns, so this is my excuse, it more so wants to be, I don't have the returns, so I must lead the person from that space of being the authority. So here's the thing, is that you're not necessarily deluding yourself when you haven't necessarily got your first sale, or you haven't like got major financial results. What you're doing is you're changing what it means to be successful. Because success really is something that you get to decide as to when you're successful. And so most people are like, yeah, I'm only successful when I become a millionaire. I'm only successful when I've reached this amount of followers or whatever. And it's always something that's external to them. It's never something that's coming from within. And that energy of feeling like you're not successful is not magnetic. Who's going to want to work with somebody who doesn't feel like they're successful? You yourself will start feeling uncertain about it. You'll be like, why is this person not competent? I can't trust them at this point. So rather than looking at it like success has to be financial results, you can recognize that, hang on a sec, the financial results are going to come last out of everything. First of all, it requires the work, the inputs, the actions, and then the financial results are going to be the final thing that's going to come. So rather than looking at it like, I've got to go and get my financial results first, look at all the other types of results that you could possibly get first that come before financial results. So when we talk about returns, there's actually 3 main types of returns. So everybody's heard of ROI, right? Return on investment. Has anybody heard of ROE, ROL?
I haven't.
Return on equity.
Martha, you ever heard of ROE or ROL?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, you want to note these down. Our ROI is return on investment. That's the final one that will come. Before ROI, really what you should see is you should see ROE and you should see ROL. ROE is return on energy, and ROL is return on life. Right? So when you're making an investment, like, you don't just have to view it as, oh, it's only a good investment if I get money. That's not the reality. The truth is that you could make great investments that give you amazing returns on energy and returns on life, which actually, if we go back to what we were talking about yesterday, Ali, about the spiritual leverage, having a return on energy would be so much more valuable than just a return on investment. Because if I said to you, like, over the next year, every single day, I'm going to guarantee that you're going to be operating from a place of high vibration, fifth dimension, certainty, all of this, but you're not going to get a financial return from me. All you're going to get is that for a full year. Versus, I pay you £5,000, you get no return on energy. Which one's more valuable?
Spiritual vibration is more valuable
Why?
because with that energy, you can use it to have endless cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
You have
It's
the energy when you're on the 5th dimension, like we
Yeah.
spoke about yesterday. Yes.
It's like having a genie in a bottle and being like, yo, can I get some money? Can I get some power? Or you could ask the genie, can I just get as many wishes as I want?
Yeah.
That's the difference. So I was thinking about this earlier on as well. I think one of the biggest shifts that I had in my journey was when I started to notice how much I'd been fixated on the wrong type of debt for a long time, right? And I was so bothered about this type of debt. It was weighing me down. It was making me feel horrible. And that was financial debt, right? Anybody over here who's experienced financial debts, you know that sometimes it can make you feel anxious, it can make you feel worried, it can make you feel stressed.
Yeah.
And everything, everything shifted for me when I realized that my financial debt was tiny. It was so small. And I had thousands in financial debt, right? But my financial debt was tiny compared to this other debt that was like this big. And that other debt is what we call your ignorance debt. Did anyone have ignorance debt before?
No, haven't heard of it before.
No? Yasmin, you ever heard of ignorance debt before?
Nope.
Okay, this is a game changer. Now, let me ask you this. Let's say that we was to keep you all in the same with the same memories that you have right now, the same identity, like the same experiences, but we had a time machine. And I took you back to like the time where it was the slave trade and you were literally being bought, sold, and then having to work for free for the entire year. And you were having to like work hard, laborious, everything like that. With everything that you know right now, like how would that make you feel?
It will make me feel really terrible.
Why?
Like, because I'm working for free, I'm a slave. I'm laboring day after day to make someone else better, and I don't get a return on that.
Yeah. But what's wrong with that?
It's degrading.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes you feel less than.
Right. So why do you think you would feel less than when there's all these other slaves at that time who they're all working for free and they're not making a fuss about it? It's just normal for them.
Well, because you mentioned that if we know what we know now, so that's why I feel less than, because I've already seen what the future holds, like what I've achieved in the future and what others have achieved in the future. So that's what would make me feel less than even not just less than the other slaves, less than my own master, for
Yeah.
example.
Because you've had knowledge, experience, and understanding of your worth.
Exactly, that's it.
Mm-hmm. So your ignorance debt, right? You didn't, if you go back in time into the slavery, you would have less ignorance debt than those slaves because they would be okay with it back then.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. And this is what we're talking about with your ignorance debt. It's not as if you have completely cleared it. It's just that it's a little bit less than it was before. So what you wouldn't accept back then would be working for free, because right now, like, you're okay with working for close to free.
Yeah.
It's called modern slavery, right?
Yeah, modern slavery.
Yeah, modern slavery.
Modern
That's
slavery,
it.
yeah.
Today's world.
Yeah. So right now, the reason why you're okay with it, you're not like, because think about it. If somebody was treating you that way back in slavery times, like giving you the whip, like telling you, being disrespectful, not paying you, you just be like, what? I deserve, like, why isn't everybody speaking about this? This
Start
is,
a revolution.
you can start a revolution. Exactly. We need to, like, we have rights. And this is the, like, the hypnosis that people are in right now, which is this illusory state where the identity that you currently have, you don't actually truly know your worth. So you're just okay with it. You're just like, yeah, it's fine. Like, everybody else gets paid this much. So how can I complain? You know? So it's not necessarily about learning to complain. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it's about being able to reclaim your sovereignty, reclaim your power, reclaim your worth. And you do that by starting to become more aware as to who you are and what your value is, right? Because your value is not in your time, but you still trade it for money,
Yeah.
right? So your value is not in your time. If it's not in your time, where is it? Where's your value?
That's a good question.
If we have
Value is what
value,
you can give back to others.
Is our value, or I'm just gonna just guess, is it our knowledge?
What about in the age of AI where knowledge is infinite and it's everywhere accessible?
Okay, I see.
Your value is just being you.
Say that again, Yasmin.
Your value is just being you.
Your value is in your uniqueness. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Because no one else is like you.
How is that valuable to be unique? So let's put it a different way. When I say the word value, in general terms, what makes anything valuable?
The amount someone's willing to pay for something, whatever it is.
That's what makes it seen as valuable. Like that's how you know it's valuable.
Right.
But what actually makes something valuable? What makes something somebody would want to pay for?
for example, gold and silver.
Yeah, I was thinking the same, like the limit. Yeah, it's the limited amount of something.
Scarcity.
Scarcity, yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. So how many, like going back to what you were saying about uniqueness, how many yous are there?
Just one, as far as I know.
Right. There's just one. Is that scarce?
Yeah.
one in the world is pretty scarce. It's pretty damn scarce. So here's the thing. There could just be one of you in the world. Just because you start to operate authentically as you, does that guarantee that you are going to be paid for what you're worth?
Maybe.
It doesn't guarantee it, I guess, but hmm. I guess it does if you're offering valuable, like something valuable to whoever's watching you, based on your experiences and knowledge and, you know, whatever, stuff like that. I don't know. That's what I think.
So if we break down what you just said, you're saying that it does guarantee it if people can see that you're offering it.
Yeah, selflessly.
Mm-hmm. So you're offering your value to people, that now guarantees that you'll be paid what you're worth. Is that right?
When you say it like that, it doesn't make sense again. It's uh, no, there isn't any guarantee that you'd be paid
Why?
because not everyone might, not everyone would think that what you're sharing is valuable. You may think that you're valuable, or, someone else
Yeah.
thinks.
So
the same.
you could know your value, right? You could be sharing what you're offering to lots of people, but they might not know the value that you know of yourself
Yeah,
just because you're sharing your offer. So what you're describing that is that it's not necessarily how much of the value that you share, it's more about how much of the value the market can perceive of you.
yeah.
So if the market perceives value of you, does that guarantee
They're more
that
likely than to see the value in your offer.
if there's perceived value, then they're more likely to see the value?
Yeah,
Yeah. And not just more likely. If it's perceived, that means they are seeing the value,
yeah.
right? So if they're seeing the value of your offer, lots of people, does that guarantee that you'll be paid your worth?
You'll be paid, whether it's your worth or not. I don't know.
Okay. What would guarantee that you'd be paid your worth?
Hmm. If the audience had a perceived value that was higher than what you think your value is, then you'd be guaranteed at least
I get what you're saying. So like if their perceived value is actually higher than
higher.
the worth,
Yeah,
then they would at least have the same or higher than what your actual worth is.
yeah.
Okay. So that would guarantee that you'd be paid your worth.
Or higher, based on their perception.
Yeah, that or higher. And that's a good question. Is it possible to be paid more than your worth?
Yeah, because if you look at people online now, there's some people you look at them and you think, like, how the hell is this person a millionaire? Because they're like thick as, bricks, and yet they've managed to put out this perception of their value, and people buy into it, regardless of their knowledge or whatever. It's just something that they have that people perceive as valuable, and there you go.
Yeah. So it's basically, I don't know who it is. I think they were saying to Kasha yesterday that like some people tried to polish a turd and it works.
Yeah.
Some people buy that. So that shows that if it's possible for people to buy, and a great example of this is cigarettes. Like, what value does a cigarette really give a person?
Zero.
Dopamine.
Zero value. But to be honest, it's not actually it's not actually zero value, because it is perceived value if people are buying it. Yeah. But inherently, there's not much value there. It doesn't really change a person's life. It just gives the illusion that it will temporarily, but it genuinely makes it worse. So cigarettes is a great example where it's like, with genius marketing, you can actually sell something that's terrible to the world, and they'll all buy it.
Yep, that's what it was like in the 70s and 80s, isn't it? Where the perception of having this status, made everyone want to smoke. So it was like sort of free for all. Like you had young, old, do it anywhere in airplanes or whatever. It's because you had this illusion of, I don't know what it was like back then. I guess like maybe people felt they were in a cool club, like everyone's smoking, so I've got to do it also. But that's all down to the marketing of it.
They didn't market it by saying like, oh yeah, if you smoke this, then you'll probably get cancer, and not only that, but your kids are gonna get addicted to it too, and you won't be able to get off it, and it's gonna cost you like so much money that you'll probably lose. Yeah, like, you're gonna lose your health. You might die like 20 years younger. Could you imagine them stating the features instead of the benefits? So it just shows you that when it comes to being able to actually put something out there that people will buy, it doesn't always have to be something that is the best thing in the world. It can work if it isn't. But if it is the best thing in the world, then I mean, that's even better. It's even greater returns that you're going to get from it.
True value, not just perceived value.
Exactly. But here's the thing. You can't just have true value with no perceived value.
Yeah.
Because true value is, no one knows that you're a diamond, you're a gem, apart from you, your mum, your sister, work colleague. That's it. You have to have more perceived value. So now here's the question. How can you become more valuable in the perception of your marketplace?
Confidence. Like upgrading yourself.
So you could become more valuable?
Yeah, like upgrading in a sense where you work on your personal development, your confidence, your, speaking to people. stuff like that.
Which that actually sounds like it upgrades your value, not necessarily your perceived value.
But that would come across then more in your content, for example.
Well, you just said something there, which it kind of answers it. You said content.
Yeah.
So if you put out content, can that increase your perceived value?
Yeah.
Right? Content alone, does that increase your perceived value? Is there anything else?
Mm. That would be the biggest one, though, isn't it? Because it goes out to like a wide audience.
Okay. Let's ask a different question. What is perceived value?
What someone else thinks you're worth.
Mm-hmm. To them, yeah.
To
And
them, yeah.
yeah. Like, what would generally make somebody believe that you are valuable to them?
If you're solving a problem of theirs that they need help with,
Yeah.
or you show that you've solved this problem for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you can demonstrate that you either are the solution or you got the solution.
Yeah.
Right? You got the magic liquid. If you have that secret sauce, then they'll have that perceived value of you, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I guess now the question is, like, what could you actually do to showcase that you either are the solution or that you've got the solution?
In terms of value.
Yeah.
I was thinking about desirability.
Okay. Tell me more.
For example, like, let's say you have an iPhone or a smartphone. It's desirable because, the functions work. It's good for communication. You can use it, different apps on it. So it's really desirable. So things like that, at the end of the day, it's just a phone, but it's very desirable. Like, loads of people want an iPhone. Loads of young people want to have an iPhone because it's really desirable. So in that aspect, a lot of people steal iPhones because it's very desirable in the market.
Okay. So you're saying to show like the parts of who you are or what your solution is that's desirable.
Yeah.
Okay. What makes something desirable?
What makes something desirable? Good question. Like, it's what makes something desirable? Like showing its worth, showing what it's worth.
It's scarcity again, isn't it?
Yes, scarcity. I agree.
Okay. So the example that came to our mind, let's say that there's the Guinness World Record for the person who is like the heaviest person on the planet, and I'm talking like not even muscle, like just pure fat. That's a pretty scarce person in the world, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say that that'd be quite desirable to most people, or?
Maybe not.
So the desirability would come from the number of people that want said product or said personality or whatever it is that you're selling.
Yeah, like showing the user what they need. Like showing them what they need. Like, you need this product, you need this brand.
Okay. So do you feel like people buy more what they need than anything else?
No,
No,
absolutely
they
not.
can buy what they want, but you're trying to show them that they need this in their lives.
Okay, I get what you mean. So
Yeah.
you said that people don't buy what they need as much as they buy what they want.
It's hard to say, but usually people buy what they want. I think so. They buy what they need and what they want, but I think it's mostly what they want.
Okay. Why do you think that is?
Because of how companies sell to their consumers or to customers worldwide, or how you market a product or a brand.
It comes down to perception at the end, I think, again. Like it's the perception of how that product is gonna make you feel.
So you're saying perception makes it look like what people want is more desirable than what they need.
Sounds
Yeah.
right.
Okay. In your perception, why is what you want more desirable than what you need?
Take the example of the phone, right?
Yeah.
Everyone needs a phone in this day and age, but you don't need an iPhone. You want an iPhone instead of whatever cheaper brand that is that does the same thing.
Nokia.
Because it's a status symbol. Makes you, it makes you feel a certain way because you have this thing in your hand. It's perception again, perceived value. It's not true value.
So one thing you said there is that if in your perception you can see that it can potentially increase your status, then the desirability goes up.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I agree as well.
Yeah. Why do you think that's so important for people when it comes to desirability?
Because people care what other people think. It's just a human flaw, weakness.
Is it? Or is it an adaptation?
What do you mean adaptation?
As in, like, for humanity as it's evolved, is it something of which is like one of the things that has helped us to move forwards, or do you feel like it's one of the things that we still haven't evolved out of yet?
I don't think it's helped us move forward. If anything, we're not progressive now, and we're the most like that now.
Yeah.
Than ever before in history.
Why do you think people care so much about it? Like, why is status so desirable then?
Because people don't have purpose in their lives, so they cling on to these material things that make them feel worthy and make them feel like they have some sort of worth in their life.
Okay. So what you're basically saying is that people's perception of their own worth. People want to feel worthy, and they get that sense of self-worth through the external validation that comes from higher status.
Yeah.
Okay. So every single feeling that a human being has is usually something of which is guiding us towards having more pleasure or less pain. So if in the eyes of others, like, you are seen as being something that's more worthy, you have more status, how could that be something that would make you experience less pain?
I think it's more pleasure rather than less pain.
Yeah. Could be pain as well, right? If you lost status, that could be.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So what is it about status that gives us pleasure?
It's like an empty pleasure, I'd say. It's short-lived. It's not like when you say like fulfillment. It's not something that gives you fulfillment. It's just something that makes you feel good about yourself in that moment. When someone says, "Oh, that's a nice phone you've got," or "Wow, you got the latest iPhone," or something like that, or "You got a cool car," or something. It just makes you feel better than them in that moment, but it's not really real.
And when
So
you
you're
say,
looking for the next
I
thing
think,
then.
I think you're trying to explain. I'm not sure if it's the right thing, but like somehow instant gratification.
Yeah.
rather
That
than,
feeling.
yeah, so it's happiness, because instant gratification is a form of happiness. It's just like one of the lowest levels. So when you're saying it's not real, you're saying it's not real happiness. It's like a sense of happiness that a person can
Like a
experience.
false sense of happiness, but you feel that pleasure in that moment, but it's just that's it.
So it's a false sense of happiness for the false self, for the ego self.
Yeah, the ego, definitely.
Okay. So if status is the most desirable thing for, are we agreeing that status is the most desirable thing, or do you think there's anything more desirable than status to the ego?
The ego, yeah, that would be the most.
Do you agree, Martha, Ali?
Ego, the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure.
What makes you unsure?
I don't know. There could be more, but I'm just guessing.
Okay. So nobody knows of what could be more desirable to the ego than status. Does anyone want to throw in like an example of what could be as a guess?
Power, control.
Okay.
Fame.
So,
Yeah.
so you said power, control, fame, and status.
Influence.
Yeah. So the thing about some of these is, I feel like some of them might represent to the ego something that the ego wants. So, for example, if you've got status, then it could mean to the ego that represents power. Fame, I think another thing with fame can represent status. And did somebody say something else?
Influence.
Influence, yeah. I think influence again can represent power. So I think, to be honest, I think the ego wants status so it can have power.
Mm.
Power hungry.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Is there any other thing that you think the ego wants more that's more desirable than power?
Money.
I think money definitely makes people more powerful or feel more powerful. Like that's usually the reason the ego wants more money. Unless you can
Right.
think of a reason why money would be desirable.
Yeah, it's all about power, I think, for the ego.
Power. Yeah.
Mm.
And funnily enough, the reason why the ego wants power is because the ego lacks power.
Mm. It's weak.
Mm.
Hmm. That's
So
why it looks for these external low vibration hits of pleasure.
to just get that sense of power. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So now the question is, we know what the false sense of happiness is.
Mm.
We know what the ego finds most desirable.
Mm.
What does the real version of self, what does the soul find most desirable?
I think the soul craves the creator most.
Mhm.
To be, one with the creator, with its
Yes.
creator.
Yes, I was just about to say that as well. Yeah, I was
Mm.
gonna say God.
The soul finds God most desirable. Why would you say that?
But it's the source it came from.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what God is, but like why would the soul find God most desirable?
Peace.
Because the soul wants peace.
Yeah. The opposite of the ego.
What's the opposite of power?
No.
Humility.
I'd say that's the opposite of the ego.
Okay.
Wow. Simplicity?
Can you elaborate?
No. Like the power is having the need to control everything around you. But when you like the soul just surrenders to the creator who is in ultimate control of everything. No?
Say that again. So you said power is the need to control everything.
power has the need to control everything. The ego needs to control, so it feels it has power. But the soul surrenders to the creator, who is ultimately in control of everything.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like explaining the difference between the two. So what you're saying is that the ego actually wants to be in power because it doesn't have power, and sees that by gaining power, then it can have that control. Whereas
Yeah.
you're saying that the soul has power. Oh, welcome, Ben.
Hey,
How we
Ben.
doing?
What's up, Mo? Yasmin?
What's up?
Good evening, all.
Hi, Ben.
Hey, I think you're gonna enjoy this conversation, Ben. I mean, I'll throw the question in for yourself right now. I know this is something that if anyone can give us an answer for, you'll be able to give us a good.
Joined at the
So
wrong time.
the question is, we have pretty much come to the conclusion that the ego wants and desires power more than anything. And part of that reason why is because the ego doesn't have power, and it wants to have more control. So the opposite of the ego is the soul, and it's more the real self, not the false self. So the question is, what is the most desirable thing to the soul?
Okay. I'll come back to that question, but just to add a different spin to that, I would consider the ego being the old self, trying to keep you in your past. And your soul is the future self. And it's the job of the ego, because human condition, to keep us safe. And safe to an ego could be, whatever condition you're in right now, or whatever surroundings and are used to, your comfort. It could be a violent situation, a violent relationship. It could be serene and bliss. Whatever that is, it's the ego's job to keep you there. That's just what I wanted to throw that grenade in there. Could you tell me what the question was again about the soul?
So we were basically saying that the ego, if let's say we said it's the false self, you said it's the past self, it's the lower self, but it wants power, and it wants that power because that gives it that sense of safety, like you were describing.
Yep.
So the soul doesn't actually have the threat of fear because it already is in a safe space. And opposite to the ego, like it doesn't lack power. So the question is, if it doesn't desire power, what would it desire more than anything?
I'd say love.
Love. Does anyone
Belonging.
else? Yeah. Anyone else agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So the soul desires love and the ego desires power. So going back to why we're having, well, go ahead. Ben,
It's almost as if the soul always wants something that it thinks it can't reach or touch. It wants the best. It wants the highest of everything. So that's why I said love.
Yeah.
And it's the ego's job to sort of battle against that, because to the ego it's the unknown. It's uncomfortable. So We're not going to worry about all of that. We're going to keep you where you are right now. We know what right now is about. So that's the ego's job. And some people just only hear their ego and they don't hear anything else, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah. They when you say hear anything else, it's less about like them even hearing it. It's more about the fact that they've chosen to identify with it. So they haven't been able to sit into the seat of awareness where they can see that there is an ego, there's a soul. They just see like
As the saying goes, blinded by your ego.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a veil that's covering through the light that can pour in and the love that they can receive. So the reason why we were touching on this topic is because what we were talking about is how you could have a turd that has been polished like a cigarette and sells to the entire world, and everybody would buy it. The example of that is how cigarettes have been bought and sold for many, many years. And that's really through good marketing, of which the genius marketers essentially were able to show to the ego that you'll be able to increase your status with these cigarettes, and people believed it. So if you want to do soul marketing, then you can't have status, things that will show that you can have more status. You can't actually put that out there unless you want to attract your ego tribe. Osman, welcome, man. How we doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. We're having a very interesting conversation here today, it's actually about marketing.
Okay.
And the difference between marketing to like the ego versus marketing to the soul.
Oh, very interesting. Very, very interesting. What's been discussed so far? If you don't mind a little summary.
Yeah, absolutely. Does anyone want to do that, or do you want me to do it? Yasmin, go ahead. Do a little summary.
No, please don't put me on the spot.
Go on, Yasmin. I trust you.
I'll give it. No, go on more.
Okay, so basically, if you think about marketing is about desire, and even cigarette companies, they've been able to make cigarettes look desirable to the ego because the ego wants status more than anything. Drea, welcome. How we doing?
Hey, Dre.
We know you're there, Dre. Mike messed up. Okay, that's cool. But you came at perfect time because I'm just explaining something to Sman who joined a minute ago. So as I was saying, ego wants status more than anything. So when you're marketing to the ego, you want to show the ego that by buying the product, its status can increase. Whereas if you're marketing to the soul doesn't desire status, it desires love more than anything. Also, we said the ego desires power and status, but the soul desires love. So if you market in such a way where you put out things that can increase status, then you'll attract your ego tribe. But if you put out things that can actually increase a person's love, then you can attract your soul tribe.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So did I ask a question, guys, just before he jumped in? I think I asked a question. Does anyone remember? You interrupted the flow, man.
My bad. It is interesting stuff here, though. Very, very interesting stuff.
Yeah, it took me a long time to realize this. Yasmin, you got something to say?
The question was about the soul. What does the soul want? I think Ben answered that, didn't
Yeah, you
Love.
said love. Yeah, we got to that part.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, let's see where we take this then. So, if we've got the way that we can market to the ego, which has been shown by like these cigarette companies, what do you think you could do to market to the soul? What could you do different?
I mean, maybe you could, your messaging could be more empathetic, more storytelling, more purpose-driven, perhaps.
Mm,
Mhm.
Something that's driven by like growth and love and contribution and truth and stuff like that.
okay.
Yeah,
So
and even authenticity. I think that plays
Yeah,
into it
yeah.
as well.
authenticity. Why authenticity, Ben?
If you're listening to someone who's authentic, what they are proposing shouldn't be sound as if it's selling.
Mm.
And going back to ego selling again, I've got there's so many plays on ego. You can inflate the ego, and that will get you the sale, but then it's all temporary.
Mm-hmm.
Selling to
Mhm.
an ego, the ego gets tired. It wants something else after a matter of time, whereas love could persist. But going back to authenticity, if you can feel someone's authentic, isn't that going to make you want to maybe listen to them, give a bit more of your time to them? And depending what they're proposing, authentically, it should be about love if they're being authentic. I don't know if that makes sense.
You trust them more as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Drea says as well, she agrees. I think she said at the same time as you, Ben. Shows who you really are, not faking it till you make it. So here's how I see it, right? If you're being authentic, then what you are demonstrating is that you love yourself, because you're not hiding any part of who you are. You are showing even the parts of who you are that you don't like. And if you can love the parts of yourself that you don't like, then you've now been able to raise to a level of unconditional self-love. So from that level of love, like, the soul will look at that and be like, wow, that's desirable, because the types of love that may be more marketable to the ego could be conditional love.
Mm.
So being authentic is really about being able to truly love yourself. And that's why when you look at people who are truly authentic, like, they operate at a higher frequency and attract more people that will make them feel more of that love as well. So yeah, I mean, what is this revealing for yourself right now, for anyone who's on the call? Like, if you are doing a little bit of reflection.
I think it's the thing that's been holding me back a lot when it comes to content.
The ego's temporary. Like I said, the ego gets bored. It moves on to the next thing. It constantly wants to be fueled by the next thing to inflate it, so to speak. I'm even thinking, going back to the soul and what that wants. I think I said love, yes, but I think it's also like a oneness, to be part of something, a purpose, maybe belonging. There's a few things going back to your soul question and what it desires.
To unify almost.
There you go. That's the
Yeah. Which again is like to bring people together. It's love as well, isn't it? It's a similar thing. So Yasmin, you were just saying that I think you said something about like it's in your content holding you back or something like that. What were you saying there?
Yeah, it's like what you said, like you can only put out your true authentic self when you love yourself unconditionally. That's when it comes across as being completely authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
And not
going back
caring
to your
about what
article, Mo,
someone
as
else
well,
thinks.
just about loving it's not just about loving the good side and the happy times either. It's loving the whole picture.
Yeah. Which requires self-awareness. So what I realized for myself is like a lot of the things that happened in my life or people that came into my life that I really didn't like, I didn't want them to be there. Oh, Usman, I appreciate the feedback and thanks for joining us.
It's very, very little, but I really, really appreciate it. I've got to run, but thank you so much, Adam. Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to be here every night, so we'll see you again, man.
Perfect. Hope to see you guys soon. Bye, guys. See you soon.
Stay easy.
Bye.
He's a hustler. So yeah, we were talking about so a lot of like what's happened in my life, people come in, I didn't want them to be there, or things are showing up, I didn't want them to happen. These were reflections of parts of me that I didn't like and I didn't love. And I believe that one of the big reasons as to why it shows up in our lives is so that we can become more self-aware as to what we don't like about ourselves and what we don't love. So I like how, does anyone know who Peter Crone is? No?
Who's that, sorry?
Does anyone know who Peter Crone is?
Peter Crone, no.
No? I love Peter Crone. You can check him out on YouTube. But one of the things that he says is that life will bring you opportunities, experiences to reveal to you where you're not truly free.
Mm.
If there's parts of you that you don't like, that you're trying to hide, that you're you don't have that love for, then those are areas where you're not truly free.
Mm.
Because when you're able to love those areas that you don't like, and you can express that without judgment, without hiding, I feel like one of the funny things about most of the people on the call today is that when I look at you all, I was saying this to Yasmin on last week's call, that has anyone ever seen the movie Small Soldiers?
No.
No one's seen Small Soldiers? No way. Drea, you must have seen Small Soldiers, no? No? Ah, man, that's a classic. It's like Toy Story, but better. I think it came out like either similar time or a little bit earlier. But basically, there's two egos that
I've
have been.
seen it.
Who's seen it? Martha's seen it. Oh, thank you, Martha.
It's an old movie in 1998, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen it when I was a kid.
90s movie. It's a classic. But the movie is really showcasing two types of ego that exist in these toys. So one type of ego is very aggressive. It's very much like goes on offense and fights when it feels that fear. Whereas the other ego is a lot more, let's say, that doesn't like conflict, and to avoid getting into the fight will hide, will withdraw, will stay quiet. So in the movie, it's like you've got the aggressive ego, which is what they call the commando elite, and they're like this army, hyper masculine, aggressive, and they'll just like beat up the other toys when they get activated. And then the other side is you've got what's called the Gorgonites. And the Gorgonites are the ones who, when they're in their ego, like they just start hiding in the bins, and that's like what they're made to do. That's cool, Ben. So with most of the people on the call right now, I kind of am looking around the room and I'm like, you know what, I'm seeing a lot of Gorgonites. I'm seeing a lot of people who, when you're in that space of not feeling totally free, authentic, and safe, that you tend to hide a little bit more. You go within rather than like projecting onto others and making everybody else hurt, because you don't want to experience that conflict. You don't want to be seen as the bad guy. Does anyone resonate with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're in between.
That's me. You just spoke to me there. You just spoke to me. Thank you.
Not entirely.
No, I think your husband's definitely a commando elite, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Like when
Shameless one.
when he got kicked out of digital downline and he went on the offense, like that's definitely commando elite behavior.
Yeah.
I've got over that. I've moved on. Behind me.
But yeah, like both of them is the ego being expressed. So when we're coming from that soul space, then it's not going to be either extreme, where you're either going super defensive and withdrawing, or you're going super aggressive. What's going to happen is that you're going to operate from this balanced space of interdependence and showing up and coming from this place of service with the intention of taking yourself and others towards love. That's what we're going to see. That makes sense?
Yeah. I think like what you were saying is probably that's probably the reason why I wasn't feeling comfortable with the content creation, and a few months ago, because what I was doing is just sort of looking at other people in
It wasn't you.
Enagic and just sort of trying to copy what they're doing, and most of the content that I've seen is like just, oh, this was my life and this is my life and you can have that too, sort of thing. And that's just like you say, appealing to the ego of the viewer.
Exactly.
Anyway,
But that's probably why it didn't sit well with me. I just couldn't keep doing that. It's not. I didn't feel right about it. Basically, yeah.
Instead, just be more natural in it and do natural things. Come to you during the day.
Yeah.
We're only human. We have feelings, and we're not happy every day. Can't be motivated every day.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
do what comes naturally. Even post. Not in the mood to post.
Yeah.
I've seen Alex do that.
Yeah, I think Alex is quite authentic in that sense. He's just however he's feeling that day, he just like puts whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And showing the raw, the real, rather than like, okay, you're feeling bad that day, so you're just going to like show up with the performance. It's not about the performance. It's about showing the authentic, you know?
Mm.
So one of the things you said there, Yasmin, as well, is that when originally you were making content and like, especially with not having what the ego would want and appealing to that tribe, can you now see how like you don't even have to worry about those things? Because if you want to attract the ego tribe, fair enough. Like go and get 1,000,
Yeah.
go and get 10,000 followers, go and get like a Lamborghini, go and get nice looking clothes and everything like that. Go and do that stuff. That will appeal to the ego. But now when you think about what is it that you possess that makes you a good candidate as a marketer to market to the soul?
Yeah, just being real and showing real struggles and how I got through it, or how I dealt with certain situations that were difficult, and that would maybe inspire someone else that's probably going through the same thing.
And where
Yeah.
you are today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing, where you are today. Like, what is it about where you are today
Exactly.
that would be inspiring?
Well, I still think you're killing it, Yasmin, with your content. So keep doing what you're doing.
I'm trying, Ben. Thank you.
There you go. You're inspiring the soul right there. we can ask that soul as well. Like, Ben, what is it about Yasmin's content that is
It's
inspiring?
authenticity. Without
Yeah.
doubt, there's authenticity there, you know, and it's not always upbeat or that positivity. It doesn't have to be. So it's just it's a good level, the sweet spot.
Yeah.
So I
I
like
feel
that.
like I should be more real. Like today, I told ChatGPT, like, okay, I'm like done with this scripted sort of real things now, because it's not even said in the words I would use. You know, I'm not
what I would say.
British. I don't have a British way of speaking. I have a South African way of speaking, and it's more. It's not very.
So tell it that.
Yeah.
Keep it Joburg. Keep it Joburg all
like
day.
I'm saying words that I wouldn't really use in my normal speech. You know, so it's not me. Maybe it's my thoughts and it's what I want, my message that I want to put out, but it's not being said in my words. So I'm gonna change that now, and maybe just get ChatGPT to just give me the prompts that my audience would want to know, basically, and then I'm just gonna just talk about it, whatever the prompt is or whatever the question is.
Just prompt ChatGPT to keep it Joburg all day. Yeah.
Yeah, Joburg
Exactly.
all day.
So I'm saying, tell it. Like, I'm from Joburg. I'm from South Africa. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It knows you already anyway. It's like,
But my problem with that also is that my audience is mostly in the UK, I'd say. So I have this conflict of, should I just keep it real and Joburg when my audience is not, you know, might not relate to the way I speak or way I sound.
yeah, but that's where you're from.
That's my.
Well, no,
I'm having a bit of a.
That's where you're from, isn't it? So bring it real. That's being real. That's being original.
Yeah, but would it appeal to the audience that is here and locally?
Forget appealing. You want authenticity.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
People like South Africa. They like different things. They like. They like. If you're surprised.
And the need to appeal is something that comes from the ego, because the ego doesn't feel like it's good enough as it is. But the soul is like, no, I'm good, man. I'm fine as I am.
Take it or leave it. Kind of thing. Like, it's like he just wants peace. He just wants to find the right way, find the right people.
You remember what James used to say, Mr. Mansari? Don't be so small. You know, your tribe's probably global. That's where you want to look. Don't just look local.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I actually look at like all the big leaders and what every single one of them has encouraged me to do as well, because that's where they got their success. Every single one of them became hyper successful because they were like the first in their country, of their country. So, you know, when you look at someone like Ryan and Nate, who I was actually watching a video of theirs yesterday because Nate just went to like 682-5, becoming the first person in Europe to do so, and in only 9 years, which is like, I think, even quicker than Balazs did it. So, you know, the thing with him is he initially was trying to market inauthentically to the US. And he got a couple of people, but no real traction and growth. And it wasn't until him and Ryan decided that even though there's no one in the UK doing it right now, we have no clue how to do the financing or like how to do the calls or whatever. We don't even know if people will like this, because people in the UK are really good at complaining. They're very skeptical. We don't know if this is going to land. But because they were brave enough to just be like, you know what, screw it, let's just be real and authentic and attract our tribe of people from our own country. This is why they've blown up and now they've become global. Another example of this is you take a look at right now, like how their European team is truly exploding. And someone like Beatrice, who you saw at the Waves of Impact event, you know, she basically decided that we're going to like build our whole team in, I think it was Spain, one of these countries that, again, didn't exist. And because she was the first, like, it blew up massively. Another example is there's a woman called Monica or something like that, who she has a good podcast. I'd recommend it for anyone who isn't following her YouTube, but it's called like the Sovereign Life podcast, something like that. And she interviews all of like the top leaders in Enagic, you know, 682-5 above, and it's really good. And for her, like when she first got started out, she initially was on Tarek's team, if you know him. And you got to check out Tarek. He's great, but he initially like was a part of the Australian movement. And again, the Australians are another good example where Balazs, the reason for why he's as big as he is because of the connection that he had to the Australian. He decided that like we're not going to market to the US, we're going to market to Australia, and they had to do their whole own webinars and everything like that. So I think two things happen when you go into a new market and you really take up that leadership opportunity. First thing is that you are able to open up just so much opportunity in terms of what's available because nobody else is there. So there's more available, but whilst there's more available as an upside, the downside to that is that there's so much more work. It's because those people are not going to resonate with the person who is the one that you're affiliated with. So someone like Monica, who was from Sweden, and she's like this older lady who is way different to Tarek. She had to make everything, you know, herself in terms of her own videos, her own web class. And when she eventually started to market that, like people were truly respecting her so much more because she was the one on the video. And it's kind of like how Jim Rohn puts it. He says, if you see the person in the room and they're the one that has the marker pen, usually it's them that's the one that's successful, like not the people who are on the screens. And like immediately people can sort of perceive that as well. So yeah, like you just have a lot more respect from people just because you have more proof that you even know what you're doing since they're watching. So if they're watching somebody else, it kind of devalues your authority because you are having to leverage another person's experience, wisdom, etc. But if they're watching you, then it's like, oh, she's the woman. She must be the queen. Another great example of this was my direct upline, right? So my direct upline, I think Martha has met you. Have you met Lily in Manchester one time or Birmingham? Or was it just...
Lily? No, I don't remember meeting a Lily.
Okay, no, it must have been Jessica. Like they bumped into Jessica one time, but basically, like she.
Oh, like you mean when they were in Manchester and they were walking past each other?
Yeah.
Yes, I was with Jessica and she met Lily. Yeah, she bumped into Lily. Yes.
Yeah. So that's basically like my upline, and she, when she first got started, she was in this UK community of all men, right? And she was like, I'm literally the only woman on this call. I mean, I love this business, I love this opportunity, but I feel so out of place. I cannot imagine what my people would feel like if I was to bring space. But she was like, you know what? I am determined to be the one who is actually going to bring in all of the women in the UK. And so that's exactly what she did. So it went from being like 80% men in the community to the complete reverse. You know, Ben, you probably experienced it when you go to your event. You go to these events now, it's like 85% women. And that is all because of Lily and how she decided that, like, we're going to get the women in here. So this is it. Like with yourself, Yasmin, like you got to look at it like it's your opportunity to stand out, blue ocean strategy, and intake all of those people that currently don't have a leader that they can look up to and follow in this space.
Yeah, you're right.
And if you show up as somebody who you think generally people want to listen to, then you'll be less attractive to that ideal audience. And I think the best person who explains this is there's a guy called Seth Godin in marketing. He's one of the all-time OGs in marketing, literally like way more experience than anyone. And one of his famous books is a book called The Purple Cow. And the whole premise of it is that when you're doing your marketing, you want to market a purple cow because not only does it stand out, but also not everybody likes a purple cow. And if you just focus on like the fact that there are some people who will absolutely love it though, then over time, because that small group of people are buzzing about it, then it can start to extend to a wider population because you've now got those evangelists who are the ones that are the originals who will have a connection to you, but they might have a different connection to their own audience. So for example, it's like yourself, let's say you're targeting the Muslim mums.
Yeah.
There could be many Muslim mums who connect with what you're saying, but there could be a Muslim mum who's like, you know, a netball player, right? And she's like, I want all the netball players to be in my my community. I could like really bring them people in. So you can now see how like that ripple effect starts to take on, because it's not just then about the direct impact that you've had, but it's that indirect impact. So you don't have to worry about the indirect impact. You don't have to worry about being to everyone. You just got to make sure that you're like the best person for your small group of people.
Yes, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I was going to say this as well, because I know like you want to be able to do it in a way that's easy, effortless. You don't have to like put loads of time and stuff like that in it. So practically, how can you go from just leveraging something like ChatGPT that's making all the content for you, and trying to get to your voice, while still keeping that rawness and authenticity? And I'd say that ChatGPT can be good for masterminding and getting ideas, but if it's totally replacing the realness of who you are, then people will probably feel quite disconnected to your brand, and they'll get a sense that it's not really all you. So when you're getting started out, what I'd more so recommend is that you find ways where you can easily show up authentically without having to create content, but more so documenting content. Okay. And this is exactly what I'm displaying right now, because I'm recording this video that is me authentically having a conversation with the people who I like having conversations with, the people who I like what I get to speak about in these conversations, the people who I'm solving problems for. And it's kind of like what we were saying before about being perceived as that authority, right? That perception now, as I'm solving, for example, your problem, means that there's perceived value that can be put out if I was to now put this on YouTube, which is what I'll be doing. So what you want to think about is like, what are creative ways where you can essentially document certain parts of the day, which could either be when you jump on these calls and you could be pressing voice record, you could be whenever you speak, you could get a clip from the actual conversation, where you're sharing from your heart, and then you can repurpose that into your content. And then because it would have come from the heart and the soul when you would have spoken, because like I was saying, I don't think that you're inauthentic as a person. I just think that when you post your content, that it can come across more inauthentic. And that's the hard part, because when you're trying to create, usually it becomes performative.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's one way you can do it. Another way you can do it is you can kind of have like you don't have to rely on another person or a group like I'm doing right now, but you could actually have just a journal that you keep. And this journal is more so like for yourself. It's not actually for your social media. It's not to grow your business. It's just a journal for you. And in this journal, like every single day, you could just document what happened in the day. You could speak about in this journal, like some of the things that you've been feeling. You can just write down like what your thoughts are, like what you're thinking about for your future, what goals that you're setting. And you're doing this journal for yourself. And as you're putting out this journal, like when you want to also make some content, you can just take extracts from the journal that you feel like going to be beneficial to your target audience. And then you can just chop it into carousels or put it into reels, put it into videos, however
That's
way.
a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I have like these thoughts, like, but it'd be like at the weirdest time, like when I just wake up, or it's, when I'm not able to sort of make a piece of content, and then I forget about it after. So
Yes. and the measure of authenticity is based off of how quickly you had the thought and the idea to when you actually got it out.
Yeah.
So if I've thought of an idea and I'm like, oh my God, I've got such a great idea for this book or such a great idea for this piece of content, and I'm going to get to it later on, like in 30, 40 days time, it loses the heat. It's kind of like it gets cold. And the colder and colder it gets, the less that other people, once they come into contact with it, are going to be heated by it. And that's what you want. You want it to be that your prospects are coming to you warm and hot, but you got to provide that warmth. You got to provide that heat. And that comes from that authenticity, with the time delay being very small from when you had the initial idea. So if it can be immediate, as soon as you get the idea, either go to notes, write down everything that you're brainstorming, or you could just go to, because I like to go to ChatGPT.
Voice note it or something.
Yeah. So I go to ChatGPT and I will speak to ChatGPT, and that way I'll even get a response. And sometimes we'll have a dialogue, a back and forth, a conversation. So that's one thing that you can do. Another great way that you can do this, and I love to see this from big influencers like Alex Hormozi and some of these guys that I follow on YouTube. And sometimes what I see them doing is like they actually put out conversations that they're having with either leads or team members. So how like sometimes we'll have some text messages that I'll send you back and forth, and I'm like giving you some value. Like I could literally just post that on my Instagram, and that's something of which other people will also find valuable.
Yes.
And there's never a time where you're feeling like, you know what, I just posted some value to this person through text message, one-to-one. Somebody else will probably benefit from this. You can just get the screenshot of it and then put it onto Instagram.
Yeah, I need to find more creative ways to, like you say, just
document.
Get there. Document. That's basic. Yeah, it's more documenting than creating stuff, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as soon as you do that, like the authenticity is gonna skyrocket, because any time that you're trying to like create, and you can feel the effort that's going into it. I mean, if you're spending like hours on a carousel post or
I get, this is what gets me, because I like creating things, but then it has to be like perfect in certain ways. And then I've just spent like an hour doing something, and it's like you don't even feel good about it at the end.
No, you don't, because it's not scalable and it's sustainable. However, this for me, this feels great. Like for me making this content right now, and I'm like, okay, I could do this literally for hours, and I'd be happy doing it, making this content every single day, because
it's like you're killing two birds with one stone.
Exactly, because this is something that I genuinely enjoy doing anyway, and I'm just like, and it's part of my life, so I might as well just show that to people.
This is it. I've had my breakthrough now.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is why I love the go live button more than anything. So again, I think really what you want to think about is like how lucky we are in this day and age to be able to put out authenticity, because it wasn't even physically possible and accessible for the average person for such a long time. And if you look back at like even some of the biggest TV shows in the UK, things like The X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, they would do recorded version, but even they had to progress to doing live content. But back then, like it was only centralized in the media of the BBC or ITV. They were the only ones who could put out like live content. And then later down the line, it became a thing where YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of these platforms allowed anyone in the world to go live and start putting out authentic content. So, the live button is not to be demonized. It's not to be looked at as something that you should avoid. I'd say out of all the buttons on the Instagram platform, the live button is the one where it just works the best. And think about it as well. In terms of what we were talking about before, in terms of value, right? that type of content on Instagram is the most valuable because it's also the most scarce. How often do you see people going live? And it's evident because when somebody does go live, you know they're live because Instagram
one that shows up,
is the first one that shows up to all of the people.
Mm.
So if you've got 100 people and you're trying to reach all of them, the way that you know you're going to be most likely to reach them is just by pressing that live button. And then it's like, oh, damn, fears.
Yes, I'm just thinking the same thing. It's so easy to say, oh, just press the live button.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? So if there's fears, what I would say is like one of the easiest ways to overcome fears is through collaboration.
Yes.
Right? So what's easier right now? You're going live in my school community. You do realize that, right?
Yeah.
It's 700 people here. It's more than you've got on Instagram. So you're going live on my school community. But does this feel scary?
No.
No, because of the leverage and the collaboration.
Yeah.
And this is what you can be doing on social media, on Instagram. You don't have to go live by yourself. Nobody said that you've got to do that. You could do it with another person who is also committed, accountable, that you could do like a live show with, you and that person. Or you could just interview other people and invite different people to come onto your lives. And that way you could even have a different form of leverage, which is like, leverage that's not just, the leverage of the collaboration, but it's leverage of the status, authority, results, success, certainty that person might have, because they could even be potentially further ahead. And then selfishly, it could be a thing where it's like, well, I would love to learn from that person anyway. So I think a good example of who you can look at as who does this really well is, you know, the podcast Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett. Yeah. So basically, like, how I see what he's doing is he just genuinely loves learning from people. And so because of that, all he does is he looks at who would I love to learn from today. Same with Joe Rogan, same with these guys. Just looking at who would I love to have a conversation with today, and then bringing that person, inviting them to the live party that you're going to have. And then most of the time, every time that I personally done this, no one has ever said no. You know that. No one has ever said no. The only thing that might have happened is I could have reached out and somebody didn't reply, but no one has ever said no. So like there's two great ways. There's so many benefits of doing this. Like one benefit of doing it is that you are going to personally get to learn from so many different people who you want to learn from. Number one benefit. So that's just great to do anyway. If you record it, the second benefit is that there's leverage for your audience so that they're actually seeing you as more of an authority because of the association that you have with that person. Another great benefit is that if you start doing these lives with other people who are in your target audience, then even whilst you might not necessarily have some of the results that you feel as though your target audience has a desire for, that person could. So now you're showing proof, examples. It's giving belief for that target audience, especially if you interview people who are like them, of who they want to be, right? So like that's another benefit of doing that. And like there's the other benefits of the fact that there's variety there. Martha, thank you for the feedback. Glad you've enjoyed.
Yes. So thanks, guys. Hopefully see you guys soon.
Yeah. And thanks for coming. What did you like best about today's call just before you leave?
And to talk about authenticity, and when you love yourself conditionally, you bring out authenticity, and the talk about value, like, And what I learned as well was return on energy, return on life. So that's something that I've learned from today. And that it's not only about money, it's not always about return on investment. And I also learned about the ignorance depth as well, and the analogy of going back to the past of the slave trade and all that. So it was quite interesting.
Yeah, you took a lot from today.
Yeah.
I've been taking notes, I think.
Yes.
Well, that's good. Whoever takes the most notes makes the most notes. So, rich.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Thank you, Martha.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Bye.
as well. Well, thank you so much. I think I've had a big breakthrough with the way I think about content. It doesn't have to be created all the time. It can just be documented, which is a lot easier.
Yeah. Think about less about what you need to do. Think about more like what would you want to do in your day, and then just document that.
Mm. Okay. But some days are just like boring, innit? So then what do I do? Some
Don't
days
have
are just like
don't have so many boring days. Like that's the problem. Because boring day, you're not doing what you
it's
want
this
to do.
time of the year, isn't it? There's not much you can do in November.
Document that.
I was going to say, document that.
So I think
Document the gray
I think
skies, rain.
I think what would be beneficial for yourself that is like I remember when I first getting started out in my journey, one of the first exercises we were told to do was this exercise called the perfect day exercise. And that would be where you would write out what your dream day would look like from start to finish. And the idea is that you want to be able to create that perfect day as your everyday. But even before you do that, you just go and live the perfect day once or twice a month or a quarter. And then when you do that, like you get a ton of B-roll so that you showcase like the fun stuff, the highlights, everything like that. But eventually what will happen is you'll realize that, okay, it's a lot of this stuff that you would want to have in your perfect day. You don't need loads of money for it. Like you could just literally do it now, but you haven't even creatively thought about it. So one of the things for me, I wanted to do in my perfect day, a couple of things. One of them was I actually wanted to have a call like this, where I was speaking to people from all over the world, from just my laptop, and being able to give value. This was genuinely one of the things I wrote out in my perfect day. Another thing that I had in my perfect day was the people who I'd studied in the books that I was reading. I wanted it to be that I could actually directly learn from these people rather than having to just learn from the book. And funnily enough, I've even experienced that where I've read a book, didn't even know who the author was, and then met them in person and got to interview them like that. So the perfect day starts manifesting, and on the way to it, you'll be doing smaller versions of the big thing that you want to do.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And then you could document that. So, like just maybe start off with the exercise, the perfect day exercise, and then start making your own days better by including more of the things that you would want to do, because that then becomes desirable to your target audience
Mm.
in terms of what you're
Yeah.
showcasing, whether it's conversations with people you want to talk to, whether it's actual activities that you want to do, whether it's like watching certain things that you want to watch, reading certain books that you want to read, like actually start doing things you want to do and then just document them.
Right.
Even if it's shocking.
What would I do that's shocking? I'm so boring.
Exactly. No, I just say that. No, like, even if it's
Out of the ordinary.
yeah,
Yeah.
people do that.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Most welcome. My pleasure. And thanks for coming.
Thank you. See you. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Yeah.
Bye, everyone. Good night.
Good night, Yasmin.
Good night.
And then there was 2.
3 and counting yourself.
Yeah, I forgot that I was here.
Yeah, I just thought I'd drop an ear in, hear what's going on. I don't think I'll be hanging around for much longer though.
No. Well, I mean, you came on the first one that we did, and we've had quite a few since then. So
Yeah,
I was wondering if you would jump back on.
replays. I'll be catching up with the replays for sure.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are actually really good. That's the best way I can put it, because there's such a diverse group of people that are jumping on, and they're not all big groups. Today has actually been the biggest turnout that I've had since I started. But I expect that we're going to have turnouts like this becoming like the normal. And this was actually something that I've done in the past, where it was me, Luke, Anthony. I think to be honest, Anthony wasn't as involved at this point. It was me and Luke mainly. And yeah, like we would on a daily basis have about 30 people that were just jumping on these live videos. But back then, I mean, we were terrible compared. Luke was Luke had a lot of passion. I'll give him that. I'll definitely give him that. He had so much passion, but sometimes it backfired. But yeah, there's a lot more soul now, which is going to be something that I feel like attracts a good group of people. There's a good someone who actually I was working with from about 3 years ago. She just entered into the community. Her name is Jacqueline, and she's like a female Anthony in terms of the story that she's gone through. It's very inspiring. So yeah, she should be jumping on tomorrow, and I can just see this growing organically, because it's one of these things where people are just getting so much value from actually having their problem solved that they're wanting to go and talk about it. And this is another concept of the purple cow that Seth Godin teaches, that marketer, is that if you just make something that is genuinely great and focus on that, make something that is outrageous that people can't stop talking about, then that is the number one form of marketing that you could possibly have. So yeah, I intend to make this as best I possibly can. Keep on listening to the feedback. So far, it's been mainly positive.
Bit of feedback on your Most Flows lyrics. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Your intro. Maybe need to a bit more tempo, less bassy, less throatiness. I don't know. Just kidding. Lyrics are good. The lyrics and content is good. It's, I think, delivery, but I haven't heard it. Are you going to do that every show now?
No, to be honest, that was my worst one.
Yeah.
So
that was bad.
yeah, I didn't feel good saying it. It was ChatGPT. It was. This is why I've like really started to come into less performance and more authenticity. So yeah, we all got to start somewhere, and you got to be willing to look back.
For real. You do. Everyone starts from somewhere. But you know, I can really, I don't know, this AI-driven world now. I can hear AI when I read it, or if I hear it spoken. It's weird. It's got a different, yeah. It stands out to me.
Yeah, I think the more that you use it, and also the more authentic that you are, the more that you can feel it and sense it.
Yeah, it's probably the bias in the model, you know, in its initial training. Yeah, like you said, if it doesn't really know you personally, then it's just going to be generic.
Yeah.
So yeah, at the moment everybody's generic.
But I do believe it's going to reach a stage where it's going to become very difficult to detect in terms of the.
The problem. Well, it's not a problem, but people yeah, the time, if people get to spend more time with the same model, you know, and it remembers, I think that's when it becomes difficult to detect. Right now, it's just something they launch, throw a prompt, and it gives them a response without really having any context, unless the prompt is actually that developed prompt where it can, you know, return you something. But you know, first attempts for that, for the lyrics, like I said, the content wasn't bad in the lyrics,
But
but
it's
it
more
wasn't. It
when
wasn't you.
yeah, when it doesn't feel like it's you, then it's yeah, it can feel forced. So especially when like you go from that to like total raw authenticity, then you can really feel it.
Yeah.
So I think that's the starkness, because there's some adverts where I look at them and I'm like, yeah, that's actually kind of fine in terms of how they've put that together, because the actual brand itself was never something that was trying to be authentic. It was just one of those performing brands. But yeah, learning where and when you can use AI. It's all a game of testing and getting that feedback and seeing if people are still okay with it. But I think that need for resonance that comes from the authenticity is just growing more and more from people who are seeking like more soul. Like that's the best way to put it. The ones that are the ego based driven people, like I feel like they're the ones that will not be as bothered by the fakeness.
They won't detect it.
I think too. Yeah.
They won't. Yeah, interesting times. Interesting times. But yeah, as usual, you've gone off target, off topic for your tonight's discussion.
Maybe.
Maybe in the first hour. I missed the first hour, so maybe you were on topic. But yeah,
Yeah. There
all
was.
good though. All good.
I think the thing is when I'm putting out these announcements, I'm putting out like one thing that I'm personally thinking, but my my mindset for these calls has shifted massively based off of some of the learning that I've done in studying what the best schools on school are doing to like just organically grow. And the biggest thing that they're teaching is the difference between hosting lectures versus hosting parties.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to attend a lecture and be lectured at compared to attending a party and just have fun. And the difference between a lecture and a party is that a lecture is a lot more controlled, a lot more like hierarchical,
Structured.
whereas yeah, a party is just the complete opposite, where anything can happen and it's maybe a little bit of structure, but too much rigidity is just going to make it no fun anymore. So
Yeah. So you are keeping to the sort of main heading. You know, you're still flowing. You know, the conversation goes where the conversation flows. So
that's it. But there's certainly no script. There's no there's no real like timestamps in terms of the plan or anything like that. It's just what.
yeah. No. Oh shit! You're late. You should have been hitting this hour mark and on this topic. And
Yeah, none of that. But I think the thing is, when me and Luke used to do it in the beginning, I mean, we took that approach of like the party approach, and that's why it grew so fast and so big. But the downside of it was it got so out of control that we didn't want to do it anymore. And if we'd continued doing it, I actually think we'd be in a completely different place right now. But we didn't have boundaries, we didn't have structure. That was like the biggest problem with it.
yeah.
So now that I've learned what I've learned doing it right now, I can set some boundaries but still have fun, boundaried fun.
Definitely needs to be a theme or a topic that's common. Yeah. not just someone to mentally unload on the call. Or
That was what was happening. Like people coming in and just the wrong
vent,
people saying the wrong thing. That was
just venting.
yeah, venting. And then to be honest, like even Luke sometimes like he'd jump on, we'd have no topic, and he would just sometimes like talk for like 45 minutes, and there's like 30 people on the call, nobody's getting to have a say. But it's just mostly been waffle.
Fair enough.
So I mean, sometimes we were great, but I mean, if both of us can hold our hands up and say back then we were different people, and we were doing the best that we could with the knowledge and experience, wisdom that we had. But we made something that I don't really think is prevalent, like in our industry, in terms of how we were taking that as an approach. Because in the olden days with the game of like network marketing was where you would literally do parties, home parties, and that is how you would introduce people to your product. So like in the US where all of the OGs are, like they still take that strategy where they do offline parties. But
Literally
I think
come into the house, isn't it? When you say party, you mean this is like rock up face to face, come to my
yeah,
house. Yeah.
and it works really well. But I think it works well because of the offline aspect. I think it works well because of the party feel that people get when they just get to rock up to one of those houses. So yeah, that's one thing that I feel like when people move online, like because they don't have the same experience of the traditional way that things work, and as soon as they come online, same way that people are with content, they think that when they go online they got to perform. And I think it's the same thing with how people are with doing funnels and sales processes, is that they think that, oh, now we have to sound like a traditional salesperson and take them through a webinar presentation. Otherwise, like there's nothing that's going to come from it. But no, I think it's a lot more about that party vibe and school from their statistics, because they've got everything in place. I mean, it's genius what they've done compared to Facebook, where Facebook doesn't know how much people are making. Facebook doesn't get the data on what Facebook groups are thriving the best. School is literally all about serving the founders of the schools. And so they give so much support, training, and feedback from everyone that's winning the school games. And this is how, like, there's just so much collaboration going on, of which they know with certainty like what genuinely works to make school. So yeah, the thing from before is like I didn't even know what we had with school. I was like, and I think also it's not just because of that. It's because school didn't have a live feature. They didn't have this from about 2-3 weeks ago, and I always wanted it there, but I still wouldn't have thought so much about school. But now that they've got this live feature, I'm obsessed. I love it, and it's going to be great.
You to catch the latest features, though. Trust you. You know, you're good at that. Keep an eye on the ball.
Yeah. I feel like it's intuitive. There's something where it's like you know, people in sports, they say, how can a person choose exactly what they're going to do in such a small amount of time? I think it's the they call it in American football like the quarterback
The quarterback snap, not the snap call.
Yeah, it's something where it's like they have less than a second to throw the ball, and they have no view of like where it's going until the last millisecond or whatever, and they're still able to throw it in the direction by just simply like relying on that intuition. Whenever you reach a higher level, like that starts to play out, I feel, more than anything, because you can't simply rely on the physical.
Yeah, no, I think this will be a good space. People want to maybe share thoughts. They don't normally talk with people. Their common surroundings, their common circles. This is a place, I suppose, where like-minded people can come together, based on the school content that you've been providing in your in here. The mindset stuff. I think that's sort of the eye opener.
Yeah, but also it's not just about like what I've been providing, but it's like how what the vision is for it to be a space where it's not just going to be me that is one of the known like celebrities in the community. I want it to be that there's actually more educators. Like Jacqueline is a great example of someone who can come in and give so much value, and she wants to. So with that, it means that there's basically no limit to how many lives can be happening all at once in school.
Really?
No.
Wow.
So if you imagine, like, you click on television and you are able to tune into any channel that you want. So it could be that 8 p.m. you can either tune into Mo's Flow, you can tune into like Jacqueline's whatever that she does, you can tune into Yasmin's Mother's Circle, like all of them happening at the same time. And
I can hear you calling it manifesting already. Yasmin's Mother's Circle. That's got a ring to it.
yeah, I can see it. So before, like, what would happen is people would have to kind of like create their own separate communities, because the Facebook group just would not have the structure for something that could work in a way where it could expand. But I really feel like with this, people won't need to go and start from scratch when they're wanting to like build their own unique community and step into that leadership. So yeah, it should be good. But the main thing is it's about what we make of it rather than what I make of it. That's the idea.
Good stuff. All right, man. Yeah, I know I'll be catching up again with you soon for sure. I'm gonna just wind down now. Got work tomorrow. So.
Yeah, no problem, man. It's good to hear your voice as always, and I look forward to seeing you on some more other calls, joining the party a bit more often.
For sure. All right, brother. Take it easy, man.
Peace.
Happy. See ya. Peace.
And then there was two.
Yeah, two left now.
Yeah.
That's two.
How did you find the call today so far?
I found pretty great, actually. Great information to learn. Not something I usually learn about. Usually.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so to me it's something new to me.
Mm.
To be honest.
The thing about social media is that it could be new to you, but it's really not new to the world.
No.
And I think when you're saying it's new to you, you're less so saying that it's new to you, because I guarantee you've been using social media for many years.
Yeah.
So what's new to you is this idea that, wait a second, I could be a person that I have my own kind of community or my group of people that are following me. That's the thing that's new to you, because it's maybe not something that you would have considered as much.
Exactly.
But when you look at like every single business owner right now in the world, they're all using social media to their advantage. So if you're serious about getting results, then how can you not use social media? I think it's also like the same way that people look at AI. If you're somewhat driven, ambitious, how could you not use it? How could you not be using ChatGPT to help you out, like as leverage? because that's all social media really is. It's just leverage.
Yes.
Physical leverage.
Yeah. Physical leverage. That makes sense.
Physical leverage so that you can have more collaborations.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So based off of today's call, what do you feel like are some action steps that you can be taking from today?
But the action steps I can take from today, is that I need to start making content and become more aware, which I am, and become more serious with myself, and stop sabotaging, and stop becoming a constant failure with no results. So I have to take action now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I need to.
So you have to take action, but what actual action step can you take from today?
Well, I could tune into a better frequency, like we spoke about yesterday, if you remember.
Yeah.
The fifth dimension and the third dimension, which is the third dimension is the lowest frequency, the fourth is the fifth highest. So
Yeah.
I need to learn how to tune into the fourth dimension and fifth dimension. That's what I need to learn.
Yeah.
That's what I need to do to become successful. If I keep on the third dimension, I won't be successful. It will just take longer.
Absolutely. So what do you feel like you can do to help you to tune in to those higher frequencies?
Well, I need to. First I need to learn to tune into them.
Okay. Do you any idea how that's possible?
I don't know how it's possible.
Okay. So let me help then. You know how we were saying before about like that it's either you have got an anchor that's holding you down, and that's why you're not able to. You've got the wings, but the anchor is keeping you down. So if you want to be able to tune into that higher dimension, you can either make the wings stronger, or you can let go of the anchor. So we spoke about like the forgiveness that you can do, the going back into your childhood. And if you want some support in that particular area, I can share my screen real quick and just show you one of the things that I created for my community that you can also use to help you with this. So can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Yeah. So you've experienced like what it's like to be in the community. It's great. I do my lives, and obviously people you can connect with over here. But there also is the classroom. I'm not sure if you've gone through any of this as of yet.
I've gone through some of them, not all of them.
Okay. Which have you gone through so far?
It's a long time ago. I don't remember exactly which one.
Well, everything here is brand new now. So you wouldn't have gone through this unless it's been over the last couple of weeks.
It's been months ago.
Right.
So,
yeah. So this is all new for you to take a look at. And if you want, like you can actually go into the library over here, and essentially all of the links in the library are links to workbooks that are able to help you within self-mastery, business, and leadership. So the ones that I feel like are going to be most beneficial for yourself, if you want to be able to elevate that frequency,
Yes.
is, to be honest, I think this one over here is going to be really great for you. And this is an Islamic framework for inner healing that I created. But essentially what it does is it uses a lot of the already lost principles from the religion that actually work really well scientifically to help you to purify the soul. And this is something that I personally applied, and it's been a game changer for me as well. So everything in here, from how you can heal before strategy, you can go through the Islamic model of the soul, the two gravitational fields, the battleground of the heart, cycle of disequilibrium, taking the diagnostic approach, recognizing the disease, naming the pattern, tracing the root causes, treatment planning protocols, protocol library, and then taking you through the actual healing framework. So this is where you go through the 6 levels of self-accountability. It's a daily self-audit, consciousness mapping. You do what's called Toba, which is a curative and preventative return. So it's repentance as neurological and spiritual reset. Then there's something called Mujahada, which is training the nafs, building holy grit with habits, power, and discipline, mercy. Tadhakur, living in remembrance, embedding dhikr into thought, language, and environment. Suhba, which is sacred companionship and environments of light, a bit like what you've got right now in these calls. And then the khidma, which is healing expressed as service, turning inner healing into outer contribution. So, that's just like on the personal level. I think it's going to be really good for you. And there's literally like 190 pages in this. So it's some reading that you can do to help. Oh, I didn't even realize I wasn't sharing my screen so you can see it. But this is what I was showing over here. Just the actual contents of it, and there's like 190 pages.
Yes.
So if I go back to this tab over here, then I feel like another thing that could be really good for you is the Neuro Sovereignty workbook. So this one is about helping you to reclaim your mind, command your patterns, and lead with inner authority. And you can reclaim full sovereignty over your mind, your emotions, and your decisions, where you can build unshakable self-belief rooted in truth, not service confidence. So it helps you to break free from the mental chains that keep you dependent on systems, approval, or circumstance. You can lead yourself with clarity, power, and love, so you can lead others with integrity. So yeah, this is really powerful as well, and just helps you to go through any of these patterns that you might have, whether it's fear, shame, control, validation, resignation, why bother? But like what you were saying before, that fear of futility, superiority, confusion, guilt, perfectionism, hopelessness, martyrdom, hypervigilance, isolation, comparison, doubt. All of these, you can literally work through it and do it through also the use of ChatGPT with some of the prompts that already exist in here. So you don't have to do all the work yourself. We show you how you can utilize AI for doing most of the legwork. So there's that. And then I think the third one that I'd recommend for where you're at right now would be the Wounds to Wisdom workbook. So this one is about transmuting your pain into healing, turning your mess into your message, and your test into your testimony. So all of this is how you can go from, I'd say where you're at right now is someone who, like yesterday, you were probably at the innocence unaware stage, right? You didn't really know wounds existed within, and we kind of like revealed them for you. And then you might be in between like level 0, level 1 right now, where you're wounded and the pain is taking center stage. You'll know you're here because like you can start like feeling the resistance coming up. You start feeling the pain and the tears and everything like that. That's how you know that. So that's the wounded stage. And there's the seeker stage, which is searching for meaning and relief. So that's, I'd say again, like where you've started to level up to. Level 3 is the actual healing. So engaging the wound with awareness and practice. Level 4 is where you become healed, integration, compassion, wholeness. Level 5, now you're a healer, you're transforming your wounds into medicine for others. And level 6 is the healer leader. So you're embodying healing as a way of guiding communities and systems, right? So these are the 7 levels of healing. And the whole workbook has got all this content on how you can go through these levels and what the healing process can look like, and how you can essentially ascend. So that's a bit of a short one, more simple, but it's still really good. How does that look?
Perfect. I'll look into them.
Awesome. So yeah, I mean, in order to get access to these, the community that we've got is free. So all these calls, everything like that, this is all something that you can have totally for free. And then for the workbooks, usually what I do for people is I say that each workbook is £33 each. So, you can get them individually. You can buy them in a bundle. So if you was to get 3 of them, that would be like £99.
Yeah. Yes. Shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you can get the 3 of them like that, where you pay £99. Or, I mean, if you look at the rest of what's actually in the classroom, is there anything else here that you feel like you would want to go through? Because we've got the vault, which is more than just the what's it called? It's more than just the workbooks, but it's also all of the materials that I put in here that like really helped me over my years in terms of business. So if you want to learn sales, then you can learn from Jordan Belfort, who is like one of the #1 guys, and he teaches straight line persuasion here. It's really, really good stuff. That's like a $5,000 course in itself. Cole Gordon, Unlimited Leads. This one is just as good. Jeremy Miner, NEPQ. That's pretty amazing as well. There's the Network Marketing GoPro. This one has got so much in there. Let me see if I can even show you just how much is actually in there, because it's not just one. It's not just one thing. It's like so many different courses. Yeah. So you literally got like, how you said you wanted to learn a little bit about social media? Well, you can literally go into here and there is all of these modules on social media by Eric Walker, like one of the #1 trainers in the world. So there's that. There's how you can create unlimited content for social media over here. Instagram stories. If you want to get better at communication, speaking, you can go into this course and learn all of it over here. By Les Brown, #1 guy in the world. So that's just showing you like just how much is in just one of these links. So does the vault look good as well, like in terms of what you can access, as well as the workbooks? Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you, yes.
Okay.
It was lagging a bit for some reason. I don't know. It was lagging.
I was just saying, in terms of what I showed you with the vault, I'm not sure if you saw all of it. Like, does that look good as well in terms of what you can go through? Do you feel like that'd be helpful to go through some of that stuff?
Yeah, that's good. I can go through to learn a bit more about communication and social media. It would be perfect for me to begin with.
Yeah, awesome. So there's those two areas, which is just like the actual resources, and then I've within this some of my own trainings over here that I personally made, and there's just quite a bit of content that's more structured that you can go through in some of these. So you'll get, basically what I'm saying is that it's either you can buy the 3 on its own separate, like for £99, or I could give you access to like everything in the classroom, and that would only be $197.
I also have access to the whole room you mentioned.
Exactly. So if you did 99, then all it would be like the 3 individual ones. So I'd give you a link for this, I'd give you a link for this, I'd give you a link for this.
Yeah.
If you wanted everything in the classroom, which would be all of the workbooks, and it would also be all of the courses over here, including everything that's in the vault, then that would just be 197.
197.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. Which one's going to be?
Yeah. Which one feels better out of the two?
I would say the separate would be better to begin with.
Sure.
To be more focused.
Yeah.
The problems I have. Yeah.
You can start by just getting like the 3 of these to begin with, 99, and then later on we can work you up.
Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Awesome. So if I send you a link for the 99, would you be able to get it paid today, and I can send you across the stuff?
I won't be able to pay today. I don't have much at the moment.
Okay.
That's the problem. So I have to wait for that one.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, is there anything that you'd be able to contribute today? Or are you like at 0 in your bank account?
I have 0 on my bank account.
Okay. And you don't have any access?
That's the reality.
Yeah. You don't have any access to like credit cards, or you don't have any people who can lend you some money?
I do know some, but I hate asking for lend. I hate to lend from somebody. It's not something I usually do.
Okay. Why do you hate asking for people?
Because I feel like it's when you're asking to borrow for someone, you feel like you are powerless, like you can't do anything yourself, like you're nothing. That's what it feels like.
So
But
you feel
normally you should be able to do yourself. But if you can't do yourself, then it's like it's like you're lacking something what you're not supposed to lack in this day and age.
yeah, you almost feel like you have some shame around it, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah. So can I be like really honest with you?
Go ahead, sure.
Yeah. What do you feel like is more shameful? Do you feel like it's more shameful to ask for help, or do you feel like it's more shameful to stay stuck?
It's more shameful. It's more shameful to stay stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's better to ask for help.
Yeah. So logically, that like asking for help is less shameful than staying stuck, but it's emotionally something that's holding you back from actually going and asking for help from people who can genuinely help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a thing. If it's an emotional issue, then again, it goes to that thing of like, okay, emotionally, it feels like you can't do it. So what happens when you feel like you can't do something?
And you stop doing it, or you resist doing it.
Yeah. And if you can't do something, as if you don't have the money, I can't.
And nothing happens. You'll be stuck.
You're frozen.
Yeah, frozen.
And if you're frozen, how do you become liquid?
If you're frozen, you can become liquid. If you're frozen at the moment, then you have to, do something to become liquid.
Yeah. Do you remember what I was saying on the call yesterday as to how you can become liquid? So you got frozen on the one side. That's the I can't mindset.
Yeah. Getting your mindset and tuning into a different frequency that's more liquid than being frozen.
Mm-hmm. So what's the other extreme? So you got I can't on one side. What's on this side?
So you got outside you can. The outside you can. It's mindset needs to be changed.
Mm-hmm. Not just that I can, but also turning that excuse and turning it to something where you say I, with a word that starts with an M.
I must. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I must find a solution to get the. Yeah.
Yeah. You can see now.
Yeah, I can see it now. There's no turn back. I must go forward.
Yeah. You must go and find a solution for this. And
Yes.
to be honest, what I'd be saying is like, if you were going to go and borrow the money, it would not make sense to go and borrow £99 for 3 workbooks when you could get 197 for all of the workbooks. There's like 30 odd in there instead of 3, so 10 times more, which is like £980 worth of value. So it would make sense to that. That's just in the workbooks, not even including what's in the vault, the courses. It wouldn't really make sense to go and ask someone for 99, but you can just ask them for 197 and get like 20 times more value.
Yeah, that makes sense. For 197, like 197 pounds.
Mm-hmm. So now you know, like, if you don't have it, you got that mindset. You must go and get it.
Yes. Yeah, I must find a solution for this issue.
Yeah. And so this is where you got to change that mindset from becoming someone who just has resources to becoming resourceful. And the question that you want to be asking yourself is, how can I find the money for this? Like, where is it? Because the money in the world is not exactly lacking.
No.
Money is everywhere. You go outside, money is everywhere. It's just either frozen, it's not liquid, or it's not with you. It's somebody else has liquid money, right? So if you look at what do you have in frozen assets that can be liquefied, whether it be clothes, trainers, like possessions that either you haven't used, you don't use, or that you don't truly need because it's not something of which is bringing you any real value.
Yeah.
Okay. How can you sacrifice so that you're able to propel yourself forwards? So like one way we spoke about was you can sacrifice your pride and ego by going and asking another person who you know is going to be able to just lend you some money, and then you can either pay them back quickly, or you can just pay them back over time, or you can just say, give me it as a gift, like either one of them. But you probably know of people who you can ask that and they'll do it for you. So that's like one way. Another way is, like I said, you can look around at all the things that you have in your possession and think, what over here can I just go and give away so that I can reclaim some money and there you go. That's you then starting to become resourceful. And honestly, like, it's so powerful when you do this, because it helps you to realize, number one, how resourceful you are, but two, when you go and give up something that is something that you're attached to, whether it's a physical thing or it's that spiritual thing of the pride and the ego, when you go and give that up for the sake of your growth and success, you will value what's in there so much more than another person who just had the money liquid and was able to just give it like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense. It will feel more different if you find your own solution than asking for money from someone.
No, you can still ask for money from someone. What I'm basically saying is that if you don't have the money right now, and then you go and get it somehow, like you have a story of how you somehow was creative in your resourcefulness, you got the money together for the thing that you didn't have the money for, that in itself is valuable for you, because you will value the thing so much more than if you was to just hand me money that you had in abundance. Let's say you had like 10 grand in your bank account and you just paid like 197 for this right now. Would you value it the same as if you had to literally go and sell some stuff, like sell some of the precious things that you have? And I give you a real life example of this. I remember one of the persons who came through from us last year, and she didn't have money, did nothing. And we had an offer where she paid £5,000 for it. And you know what she did? She looked at the offer and she was like, I must get this. That's the first thing they said, like, I must have this. So she went and she looked at the most precious thing that she had in her vicinity, which was gold. She took the gold, she sold the gold, and she got 5,000. Did that in about a week.
That's
Right?
also a way.
So how do you think she valued what she got afterwards?
She must have valued it a lot
A lot.
afterwards. Yeah, a lot.
She really valued that thing. She got so much from it. She squeezed the juice out of it because of what she had to sacrifice. Right?
Yes.
So are you willing to make the sacrifices?
Well, I must sacrifice.
There you go. That's it.
I must do it. I
Yeah.
can't stand still and just wait.
No. Because you
It's
keep
gonna,
being frozen, like you're just going to be in the same position.
yeah, like I have for the past so many years, 27 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it can't be the same anymore.
No. So now what you want to think about is, okay, you know you must sacrifice. What do you have that you can sacrifice right now? Like, what can you go out there and within the next 24 hours make a sacrifice, and then, like, boom, you've been able to go and somehow gather the cash for this investment.
Well, I don't really have much that's valuable to the markets. So that's an issue there. But I might ask someone to lend me money.
There you go.
But yeah,
You just ask someone to lend you money. That's it. And if they say no, they say no. But you know in your heart at that point that you did something that you must do, which is make that sacrifice of the ego, being like, yeah, don't like doing this, horrible, but I must. Got no choice.
yes,
Otherwise, stay stuck, which is more shameful.
Yes, it is more stable to be stuck. There's opportunities and leverage in this day
Yeah.
and age. So it won't make sense to stay stuck.
Hmm.
It is as if you're living in 1920s. You're stuck.
Yeah. How you want to view it as well is it's like, imagine if somebody had a gun to your head right now
Yeah. At
and was,
gunpoint, comes to my head. Yeah.
yo, we need you to, I'm not even going to go into your head. Who's the person that you love the most in this world?
Mother?
Your mom?
Yes.
Imagine if somebody had a gun to your mom's head and was like, yo, if you don't get us £200 by tomorrow, she's dead. Would you be able to get £200?
Yes, I would.
You
Either I would
guess?
do that.
You
Either
guess?
either I get 200 pounds, or either I kill him instead and shoot in the head. But I have to find the 200 pounds.
You
Could
see
have
how
possible.
you see how that must starts to rise up.
Yeah, I can feel it rises up when you ask me the question. What would I do in the situation?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So you have to make it that important for yourself. You know, like, why must you get it that soon? Because you might not necessarily have the urgency there, and
Yeah.
when you don't have urgency, this is when you become frozen. So
Yeah.
this is why
Yes.
you want to be able to come with a creative idea in your mind as to, like, why must I get like £200 by tomorrow? Why must I do that for this investment? And when you can give yourself a reason for why you must, you'll find a way. Easy. It's only £200.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I would. I will find a way. I should be able to find a way.
Yeah.
The reason why I couldn't is because my mind has been numbed so many years because of many things that's happened.
Yeah. You could just literally, after this call, you literally give, or tomorrow morning, give somebody a call and be like, yo, do you trust me? Yeah. Okay, cool. Send me £200 right now, just as for me to borrow. I'll pay you back when I can get the money, which is going to be real soon. No questions asked.
Yes.
Like, you will have people in your life that you can do that with, and it's time to call in one of those favors.
Yes. Well, it's time to take action.
It's time to take action.
Yeah.
You know, when we were talking about before, in terms of the spiritual, tuning into a higher frequency and all that stuff, like, that's great. But really, if you want to become more liquid, you gotta increase that must, set that fire beneath your ass by, like, literally creating that story in your mind as to why you must. Like, there's literally somebody with a gun to your mom's head. Like, that's how important it is. Until it becomes that important, like, you won't make any action. You won't make moves.
That's right.
It has to become as important as breathing.
It has to
When it's
become
that,
urgent.
yeah. Because think
It has
about
to
it.
become-
If you was to get all of that value, if you was to go through and you actually did apply everything that you gained from those 3 workbooks in itself, and you started to operate from this higher frequency where more opportunities were magnetizing towards you, you started to become someone who actually had the money for investments like this more often.
Mm.
I mean, would that not be worth it?
And that'll be 100% worth it. That means I could be a free man and no longer be a slave. I could be unchained. from modern slavery. So
There we
it,
go.
it is worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you know what action step to take now. Not just sit around and meditate or whatever. No, actually go
To do
and
something.
go and make a sacrifice. Go and make a sacrifice.
Sacrifice, yeah. Yeah. It's a must.
Yeah. And imagine how inspiring it'll be as well. Like, this is the most powerful thing about doing something like this is if you go and do this right now, imagine when somebody else comes to you and is like, yo, bro, I just don't have the money. What would you do at that point? You'd be like, let me tell you a story of when I didn't have money.
Yeah.
I was however old you are right now. It was 2025. I had no money. I just had a dream. And there was this investment for a couple of £100 and I had to find a way to make it work. So I went and asked people for money. I felt ashamed, but I felt like it was nowhere near as much shame as staying stuck. So I went, did it anyway. There was fear. It was uncomfortable, but I took action. I made that sacrifice. And now, because of that investment, I'm a free man. But if I decided back then to let my excuse be the reason for why I was going to stay stuck, I would not be in the position that I'm in right now. Can you imagine like sharing that story with another person? How powerful that would be.
Yeah, I can mention that. It will make him take action immediately.
Yeah. So more than anything, what you're doing right now is you're not actually just buying like workbooks. You're buying the story, and that's invaluable.
Yeah. Yes. I'm buying the whole story.
Yeah. Buy the story.
Look, the more I'm gonna talk to some people I know, we're gonna see how that's gonna turn out.
Yeah. And the
Yeah,
thing
how
is,
it's done.
if you go ahead and you ask for 200, right? I probably wouldn't even ask for 200. I'd be like, yo, can you give me 1,000? So can you just lend me 1,000? They're like, why? I want to make this investment. Okay, I can't give you 1,000. How much can you give? I can give 200. Cool, you get 200 from the one person. If you ask for 200 from one person, what's going to happen is they'll be like, 200? I don't want to give you 200. I maybe give you like £50. You then have to ask like 4 people to get a yes. So you want one yes, go and ask one person for more, ask them for 1,000, ask them for 500 and see if they'll give you the full thing. If they give you 1,000, they give you 1,000. You give them 800 back the next day. If they give you, you know, anything less, then they give you 200, then you get 200. You're happy with that. They're happy with that. And then you just pay them back.
Yes. Very simple.
Really simple.
Yes, it is really simple. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will contact some people tomorrow or today later.
Yeah.
Speak to them.
Go ahead. Go and buy a story, man. Go make the story happen.
Exactly. Or I might as well sell some courses online. If that way I can make money as well. Like that way I can make money as well.
When you have the story, it'll be much easier to do that. Without the story, you probably won't be able to sell nothing because you haven't even been able to sell yourself.
That's true.
You understand? So that's one of the big reasons why you're doing this, because once you have that story, you gain conviction. And
Yes.
then you're no longer having to try to convince people when you're selling people. You're just literally sharing your conviction.
Yeah.
Because you have an abundance. So what this will do, if you go ahead and like go and find a way to fund this investment, the one thing that it's going to do more than anything, it's going to actually provide you with like just an insane amount of conviction.
Yeah.
And you can't put a price on conviction. It's like think of it like this.
Priceless.
If you had all the conviction in the world, you would be able to sell anything to anybody.
It'll be endless.
Mm-hmm. People will fully buy into it, and they would literally run through a brick wall to buy whatever it is that you're selling and you're offering. So if you actually run through a brick wall to go and buy something, then you develop enough conviction that allows people that will buy from you to start running through brick walls to buy from you.
Yeah.
And sales it's 95% conviction, 5% is skill.
5% skill and 95% conviction.
Mm-hmm. So go get your conviction, man. It's there for the taking. Once you've got it, you'll never lose it. You always have it. Always have that story. And it only costs £200. In fact, it doesn't even cost you £200 because you're going to go and get somebody else's money. You're going to leverage and use physical leverage.
Yes. Like we spoke about yesterday, physical leverage.
Through your collaborations, that's how you're going to leverage. You're going to leverage one of your contacts and then capital. It's only £200. Like,
Well, it
if you,
shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
yeah,
It shouldn't be that hard. But yeah, I'll talk to some people tomorrow.
it isn't hard.
Oh, like it shouldn't be hard at all.
It
Like,
isn't. It isn't hard. What would be hard is if I said like, go and get 20,000 by tomorrow.
That'll be difficult.
And here's the thing: if I said go and get 20,000 by tomorrow, and I've got a gun to your mum's head, and I'm like, if you don't have the 20,000 by tomorrow, she's dead. Would you have 20,000 by tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, I would.
What if it was 2 million?
That's a very high number. £2 million.
This is your mum we're talking about. Would you have that 2 million or not?
Yes, I must get £2 million, no matter the cost. It had to happen. There's no way out.
Can you see? You would have that 2
The
million.
urgency comes up. Yeah, I can feel the urgency.
Yeah.
You become you're going to survival mode. You have to do something, or else they're gonna die.
You must. So this is what it's revealing for yourself right now. Is it's like, if you don't have that feeling when you're thinking about getting like £200 with this investment, a big part of it is because you don't really care enough.
That's true. What you're saying. I think I do have that feeling. I didn't really care enough.
No.
Now to mention it, that actually makes sense.
You see?
I don't have that feeling enough. Yeah, it's like I don't feel enough that I should do something again. Yeah, I'll just wait.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
I have that issue.
yeah. One sec. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just saying that in terms of the care, like you you might not necessarily care enough to have a high must. So
That's true. Yeah, that's
when
what
you
I'm
look,
lacking.
yeah,
And self-care.
when you look at what you care about the most, like what do you care about more than anything?
To be honest, what I really care about, Well, I will. I do care about helping my family members, especially my mother. I want to make enough money to support her, so she doesn't have to work anymore. That's what I care about. But I don't care enough about it, because if I did care enough, I would have been in a different place right now.
So you're
But that's not what,
saying,
yeah,
what do you
you're going to say something.
what do you care the most about?
Helping my mother, giving her, money so she doesn't have to work for anyone anymore, so she can be free to be herself.
Yeah, but you don't
Yeah.
care that much about it.
Yeah, yeah, I have an issue where I don't care enough about it that makes me want to go and find a solution, because I'm stuck, right? I shouldn't be stuck. If I cared enough, I wouldn't be stuck. I'll be a different place right now. I
Yeah.
won't be right now. So it's my own fault. It's because I don't believe in myself. So I don't really care. Because I don't believe it's gonna happen. That's the issue I have, which we also spoke about yesterday,
I don't
about
think
frequency
it's so much about your belief. I think it's more about like
and
you
experience.
you don't know why it's so important for you to actually bring your mother like to have more financial freedom. So you
Yeah,
see it as if it's fine for her to stay as she is right now. Like it's no big deal if tomorrow you don't come up with like a bunch of money to help her out, or you
mm,
don't become the guy that can actually definitely help her. Because
yeah,
that's the thing that you're doing here is that by going and buying that story, you're essentially buying the identity and becoming the guy who is going to do whatever it takes.
yes, yeah,
And by not doing it, what actually you're doing is you're also buying the identity of the guy who, when
loses.
provided that opportunity, he won't do whatever it takes. He'll just do whatever he believes he's capable of. He won't do whatever it takes.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. It also makes sense. It's better to do what it takes than do nearly nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's my mission for tomorrow is to find a
That's
solution immediately.
yes. Make it your mission because that's what
Yeah.
it would be if you cared. You cared, it would be your mission.
If I truly cared, yes. Seems like I don't. But now I have to care. Must care.
Yeah. You must.
So, yeah, I must care. Or else it's gonna be a loophole for the rest of my life, having too little and not enough and keep lacking, and I mean that's not life. That's like being a indirectly a slave. Can do nothing. That's not life. So I have to change myself to become better.
Yeah. You'll find a way, man.
Yeah.
You'll find a way. As long as you make it your mission, then people will sense that it's important and they'll just give it to you, no questions asked.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think I do understand now. What I need to do. I get it now.
Mhm. That's good, man.
I
And
get
like I
it.
said, if you can do this, you can pull this off. You will literally have this is not $1 million story. This is $1 billion story.
$1 billion story.
This is $1 billion story that you're buying, where it's literally like you could make billions from this one story because of how resourceful that you were when you had literally nothing.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And you can make billions from sacrificing.
Yeah.
Then you could become successful and rich.
Yeah. And it's
And more
literally like,
different.
there's nothing physically that you've got to sacrifice. I mean, you can, if you like, I'll give you another example. Someone who now has become like a successful multi six figure, I think she's almost a millionaire right now. And, when she got started out, you know what she sold? She sold her bed.
Before her bed.
She sold her
Okay.
bed to
That's
start her.
a sacrifice to make.
That's a sacrifice. Exactly. It's like, why do I need this bed? This is this is not gonna help me to get my financial success. I'm gonna sell this bed. Just sold a bed. Like, when you truly have that must, and I believe this is another reason for why she's done so well, is because whenever somebody is gonna come to her and be like, here's an excuse, she's like, okay, sell your bed. And I don't need to sell my bed. I can just tip into my savings, or I can ask this person for help. I have to sell my bed, but they get it. So it's the same thing
Yeah.
for yourself as well. Make the sacrifice something that's just so outrageous for the story.
Yeah. And I need to make it as an urgency that I have to do it.
Yeah,
And that's
it's
something I
literally
don't usually make. But I think you should
make
think about that term.
urgency. It's not a mindset that most people have, but it's a mindset that people have to have a must,
Yes.
and it's a mindset that people have that care. So do it for those reasons. Do it because you can. Do it because you must.
Yes, that makes sense. If I can, then I must. If I don't care, then it'll be the same as it is
Yeah,
now.
yeah. If you don't
So
care, you just keep buying excuses. If you do care, you'll buy a new identity. You'll buy a $1 billion story.
I have to tomorrow speak to a few people, and then I'll contact you. Once that's done, if I have something, then I can pay immediately. All the
Good going.
issues.
No issues.
Yeah, no issues. So that's it.
You know what to do, man. You got the action
Yeah,
step to take.
I know. Yeah, that's it. So it'll be it. Once I have it, it'll be a new story, like you mentioned.
Exactly. An inspiring story that you'll never forget, number one. And it will also help you in any of these situations where you have to make it work. You'll be like, well, you know what? I did it before. So why can't I do it now? And you'll be
Yeah,
presented,
it'll be easier
because
then.
this is a small number, like 200. Imagine when that number's like 10K in 24 hours. You'll be like, oh shit.
So it's gonna
This is
be
this,
10,000
this
pounds.
yeah,
Well, that's gonna be
this is a lot.
man,
But I know
yeah.
what I did before worked when I just cared, increased my must, and I made it happen.
Increase my urgency and must,
Yes.
and not just stand still and wait. Maybe something's gonna come.
Yeah, no
Like,
one's gonna
like I
help you.
have done. Yeah, no one's gonna
Yeah,
help you. That's true.
no one's gonna save you, right? But if you go and ask for help, then at least you have got given yourself a chance, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes true sense. Yeah, that's my mission now.
That's the mission.
Yeah, I'll do it. And I'll contact you. I'll contact you once it's done.
I look forward to it.
I look forward to.
All right, man.
All right.
Go get your $1 billion story.
Yeah, I will give a $1 billion story. I'll contact you once it's done, and I'll be in the program.
Yes, you will.
Yes.
I believe in you, man.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
All right. You take care, man. Peace.
Take care too. Goodbye.
Bye.